Actually, we've been having some problems with our sound, so I just took off the mic, Gary. I think you'll be able to hear me today without the mic. So, actually, if you do study on the Appalachia Mountains and the area where we live, you find out that music is a very, very big part of who we are. And so, this day, we had chosen to do bluegrass for you. You might come in another time, it might be contemporary, who knows? But we love bluegrass music around here. And I just think we ought to give these guys and gals that came in and helped us another big hand today. If this is your first time here in 2 or 3 weeks, you've missed out on a couple of series of messages that we have been doing. And the title of the series have been simply this: Live Like You Were Dying. And really, that's the way that all of us should live. Actually, the messages have been developed from a song entitled Live Like You Were Dying. And the first message was simply entitled Live Like You Were Dying. The second one last week was Speak Sweeter. And today we are going to be using 2 words which are very, very common to us. However, they pack enormous implication. And that is, if we were living like we were dying, and you went to the doctor and he told you you only had 30 days left to live, how would you live? I think that you would probably love deeper. And as we go into this message today, it isn't about educating your mind, but it's about activating our hearts, our hands, and our feet, which is a part of our mission statement here at the church. When your credit card is about to expire, they send you a new one. It seems like they send a new one every 3 months from a different company trying to get you to use the credit card. However, when you receive that credit card, there is a strip of paper that you will pull off or you will sign, and they will have a number on that card. Generally, most of the time, it's an 800 number. And you can carry that platinum card around in your wallet to impress your friends, but it will do nothing until you activate the 800 number. Today, I want to challenge you to activate the part of your life that has been probably sitting on the shelf. I want you to activate your faith, because without faith, it is impossible to please God. And until we activate our faith, we cannot please God. I can stand before you today and tell you that I know what God would want you to do if you only had 30 days to live. If today's topic becomes the passionate pursuit of the rest of your life, then you will live to please God. 1 Corinthians 13 and 13 says, three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. According to Jesus, if your life was defined by extravagant love, that would be the greatest achievement or legacy that you could ever leave. Let's take a spiritual EKG this morning. What's the condition of your heart? Are you becoming more loving? This issue is so important that Jesus said that the one authenticating, validating proof that we were followers of Christ is this. In John 13:35, Jesus said, "Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." Isn't it wonderful when they can look at a church and say about that church, my, how they love one another? Actually, it's a sign of heart disease for a Christian to become less loving. Turkey Creek Nazarenes are loving people. You are a part of that congregation. Our evangelist we had just a few days ago sent me a wonderful note. I should have probably brought it and read it to you. And he said, we've traveled all over the world, but we have never found more people or people more loving than we found at Turkey Creek Church of the Nazarene. And that is a statement that you all should live up to and carry proudly within yourselves. And when we recall, or when we really embrace grace, love is a natural byproduct of grace. It shows up on our face. It shows up in our words. It shows up in our relationships. It shows up in times of conflict. It shows up when we interact with strangers. When I feel loved, I am more loving. So today I want to challenge you to activate love in your life. And to help us get a picture of this kind of love, I want us to look at a day in the life of Jesus. Now, what may surprise you is that Jesus is on the receiving end of this love. John 12 and 1a. Read along with me in your mind as we read. 6 days before the Passover celebration began, Jesus arrived in Bethany, the home of Lazarus, the man he had raised from the dead. A dinner was prepared in Jesus' honor. Martha served, and Lazarus was among those who ate with him. That's very important to remember. Then Mary took a 12-ounce jar of expensive perfume made from essence of nard, and she anointed Jesus' feet with it, wiping his feet with her hair. Another very important point to remember. The house was filled with fragrance, but Judas Iscariot, the disciple who would soon betray him, said, that perfume was worth a year's wages. It should have been sold and the money given to the poor. Not that he cared for the poor, he was a thief. And since he was in charge of the disciples' money, he often stole some for himself. Jesus replied, leave her alone. She did this in preparation for my burial. You will always have the poor among you, but you will not always have me. When you get into this story, you discover some truths that challenge our play it safe or what will people think approach to life. Remember, you only have 30 days to live. So what does it really matter what people think or what people say? If you knew you only had 30 days to live, then I'm sure that we would look at life differently. So with this sermon series being about action, let's look at some of the action steps we can take this coming week. The first is, do the unexpected. Do the unexpected. We pick up the story. Jesus is in his final days of ministry here on this earth. He knows what is ahead. So he wants to spend some time with his family, the people that he loved. On this particular day, Jesus was in Bethany. A man named Simon is hosting a dinner party for Jesus and some friends. There that night was Martha, the expert hostess. And once again, we find her serving. Also there that night was Lazarus. Just a few days earlier, he was dead, buried in a tomb. Now he's having dinner with his friends. Can you imagine the conversation that went on in that party that night? I can hear them now. So Lazarus, what did you do this week? Not much. I died on Tuesday, laid around in the tomb 4 days, and then Jesus raised me from the dead over the weekend. Can you pass me the chips and salsa? Also there that night was Mary. Unlike her sisters, she was more focused on being with people rather than scurrying around waiting on people. On this night, she does something unexpected. She opened up a very expensive jar of perfume. This was very, very costly. Remember, worth a year's wages. Now, I don't know how much you make in a year. As a pastor, we make really big money. Oh, that's a joke, by the way. But the dividends are great. For some people, a year's wages is a lot of money. I mean, there's people that probably make $200,000, $300,000, $500,000, $1 million in a year, even more. For others, it's $30,000 or $40,000. But nevertheless, it was a very expensive amount of perfume. Picture the scene. Everyone is sitting around. Martha is up serving. Mary excuses herself. And she comes back with this alabaster container. She opens the bottle, and then she does something absolutely over the top. She opens it up, pours it on the feet of Jesus.